The origins of Russia. Imagine a country so vast it covers more territory than Pluto. That's Russia, a land of extremes, spanning 11 time zones and encompassing a mind-boggling 17.1 million square kilometers. But it wasn't always this way. And just a few centuries ago, there was no unified Russian state. The region was a patchwork of warring tribes, a chaotic mix of cultures and ambitions. So how did Russia become the colossal country we know today? And who were the key players in its formation? Our story begins in the heart of European Russia, a region crisscrossed by mighty rivers, like the Volga. This area, home to cities like Moscow and Kazan, was a crossroads for many different peoples. In ancient times, nomadic tribes like the Scythians, Sarmatians, Huns, and Goths roamed these vast plains, leaving behind a rich archaeological legacy. Then, in the 9th and 10th centuries, a new group arrived from the north. The Vikings. Yes, those Vikings. While their raids in Western Europe are legendary, they were also busy exploring the rivers of Eastern Europe. They established settlements like Kiev, Novgorod, and Staraya Ladoga, and their rulers, known as the Rus, eventually mixed with the local Slavic population. This fusion of cultures laid the foundation for the first Russian states. One of the most famous of these early states was the Kievan Rus, which emerged in the 9th century. It was a loose federation of principalities ruled by descendants of the Viking chieftain Rurik. Kiev, its capital, became a major center of trade and culture, and its rulers adopted Orthodox Christianity from the Byzantine Empire. However, the Kievan Rus was not destined to last. In the 13th century, a new threat emerged from the east: the Mongols. Led by the fearsome Genghis Khan, they swept through the region, conquering everything in their path. The southern lands of the Rus, including Kiev, were devastated, but some northern principalities, like Moscow, managed to survive by submitting to Mongol rule. This period of Mongol domination, known as the Tatar Yoke, lasted for over 2 centuries. It had a profound impact on Russian culture and identity, shaping its autocratic traditions and its relationship with the East. In the 15th century, as the Mongol Empire weakened, a new power emerged in Moscow. Ivan III, known as Ivan the Great, threw off Mongol rule and began to unite the Russian lands. He also married Sofia Palaiologina, a niece of the last Byzantine emperor, which strengthened Moscow's claims to be the Third Rome and the heir to the Byzantine legacy. Ivan III's grandson, Ivan IV, or Ivan the Terrible, continued this process of expansion and centralization. He crowned himself the first Tsar of Russia, a title derived from the Roman Caesars, and created a highly centralized state with a powerful secret police. Ivan IV also conquered the Tatar Khanates of Kazan and Astrakhan, expanding Russia's territory to the east. To further his ambitions, Ivan IV turned to a group of skilled and fiercely independent warriors, known as the Cossacks. These were communities of free people, often runaway serfs or adventurers who lived on the fringes of Russian society. Ivan IV saw the Cossacks as a useful tool for expanding his territory, particularly into the vast and untamed lands of Siberia. He offered them privileges and support in exchange for their service in conquering and securing new lands. The Cossacks, in turn, were eager to explore and exploit the riches of Siberia, including its valuable furs and natural resources. The conquest of Siberia, led by the Cossacks, was a key part of this expansion. These rugged frontiersmen, skilled in horsemanship and warfare, braved the harsh Siberian wilderness to claim vast new territories for Russia. They were driven by a mix of motives, including the search for furs, the desire for adventure, and the escape from the increasingly oppressive serfdom that characterized Russian society. Ivan IV's reign marked a period of significant territorial growth and centralization of power. However, it also saw internal struggles and a succession crisis upon his death in 1584. This period, known as the Time of Troubles, was marked by political instability, famine, and foreign invasions. It wasn't until 1613 that a new dynasty, the Romanovs, came to power, restoring order and stability. Over the next century, Russia continued to expand its borders and to consolidate its control over its vast territories. However, by the late 17th century, Russia lagged behind Western Europe in terms of technology, military power, and economic development. This became increasingly evident during conflicts with more advanced neighbors like Sweden. Recognizing the need to modernize, Tsar Peter I, later known as Peter the Great, embarked on a radical transformation of Russia. Ruling from 1682 to 1725, Peter was determined to make his country a European power. He traveled to Western Europe incognito, working as a shipwright and learning about the latest advancements in science, technology, and governance. Upon his return, Peter implemented sweeping reforms, including creating a modern army and navy, establishing new industries, and constructing a new capital, St. Petersburg on the Baltic Sea. His goal was to westernize Russia and bring it on par with its European rivals. Peter the Great's reign ended in 1725, but his vision of a modernized Russia continued. However, when his grandson, Peter III, ascended to the throne, he proved to be an unpopular and ineffective ruler. Seeing an opportunity, his wife Catherine, with the support of the military and key nobles, orchestrated a coup in 1762. She deposed her husband, proclaimed herself Empress Catherine II, later known as Catherine the Great. Under Catherine the Great, who ruled from 1762 to 1796, Russia continued its expansionist policies. She annexed Crimea and parts of Poland, pushing the empire's border further south and solidifying its influence in the Black Sea region. Catherine also played a role in the partitions of Poland, gaining significant territory and further establishing Russia as a dominant European power. However, Russia's growing power and ambitions inevitably led to conflicts with other major players on the world stage. In the 19th century, tensions with Britain and France escalated, culminating in the Crimean War, 1853 till 1856. This conflict, fought primarily on the Crimean Peninsula, proved to be a major setback for Russia, exposing its military weaknesses and technological backwardness compared to its Western rivals. The Crimean War was a turning point in Russian history. It sparked a wave of internal reforms and modernization efforts, but also fueled a growing sense of national identity and resentment towards the West. This period laid the groundwork for the revolutionary upheavals that would shake Russia in the 20th century. In 1917, the Bolshevik Revolution, led by Vladimir Lenin, overthrew the Tsarist regime and established the Soviet Union, a communist state that would dramatically reshape Russia's history and global standing. The Soviet Union played a crucial role in World War II, defeating Nazi Germany at great cost, and emerged as a superpower during Cold War, engaging in a decades-long ideological and geopolitical struggle with the United States. Despite its military might and global influence, the Soviet system proved to be unsustainable. Economic stagnation, political repression, and ethnic tensions led to its collapse in 1991, marking the end of an era. Today, Russia is a complex and fascinating country with a rich and often tumultuous history. Its origin can be traced back to a diverse mix of nomadic tribes, Viking explorers, and Mongol conquerors. From the humble beginnings, Russia became a global superpower, experiencing periods of expansion, conflict, revolution, and transformation. Let us know in the comments what you found most surprising about Russia's origins, and if you're craving more historical deep dives, tell us what other topics you'd like us to explore. We love hearing from you and bringing history to life. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic history content coming your way.